Hey there, what's up guys? Back for more fun with Tecmo Grey Cup. I wish I could tell you about all the games that we've won and how we're dominating the league and stuff like that. Nah, it's not happening. So we'll talk about it here real quick, all right? So here's a beautiful Tecmo Grey Cup in all of its emulation glory. The problem that we have has to do with our team not being any good at all. And I'll sort of show you here. So people have been telling me like, hey, you should do this in passing, you should do that in passing. So this is the guy who's our starter, technically the starting quarterback, Drew Brown. You'll notice that his passing accuracy is 50%, which is actually really bad. You'll notice that his avoid pass block is also 50%, and you'll notice that his rushing speed is very slow, and his maximum speed is slow, which means that like if you call a pass play with him, like, unless you're able to, like, find a guy who's wide open through some miracle, you're not going to have anything happen. I mean, he can't run out of the pocket. Well, look at this guy next, Matthew Schultz. His physical condition is bad, which means we shouldn't start him in the next game. And look at that, his running speed is even worse. This is the guy who, if we have nobody to pass to, it's like he's walking down the field. And his accuracy of passing is even worse, right? I mean, this is unacceptable, right? You want to look at running backs, right? So the best back that we have, if I can find him here, is this guy, Devontae Dedmon. His running speed isn't really that high, but his rushing power is all right, and he has a pretty high maximum speed, which is the thing that I like about him, because once we overcome his slow start, he can actually move somewhere. When you start looking, let's see if we can find another, who else is a running back? Stand back, a guy like that, doesn't really have very high maximum speed. He has a little bit better of a start at the beginning. The nice thing about him is that you can like get out of tackles with him, which is the cool part, but everything else he kind of sucks at, right? And then we have, a bunch of receivers who, more or less have some issues. I guess Adebobe is he's not great for a running back, doesn't have any speed, but he is less prone to fumbling than the other guys. All right, this is the problem that we keep running into. And we have guys like Gosselin who are just simply awful. This is a running back who should not be playing running back. Right? So you can see some of the issues that we have. Now, we do have some guys who can receive passes, right? Hardy can receive some passes, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through the entire team, but you have to realize that we have a lot of issues on this team, which is the reason why we have no wins and 8 losses, right? You can look here at the playbook. So the play that I like the best is really this one, where we have the screen option, which is very, very useful. The rest of these plays have not quite been as useful largely because we don't have that sort of emergency screen option. So we probably should make, a couple of little changes here and try to give ourselves back, at least some kind of an option. We could do something like that. And here for this one, let's see if we can find another one that gives us at least something to do with the running back. We could do a little curl, something like that. So we'll see if that helps us out a little bit. But that's what kind of the biggest problem has been. Also, plays like this one, unfortunately, we're not able to actually gain any yardage with. We've had a lot of difficulty. Any sort of play that requires any movement in the backfield tends to not work. And so we'll switch to something like that. We'll see if that helps us out. On defense, unfortunately, there's not a way for us to see anybody. Really, the two best players that we have are going to be Pickett and Malden. So the right end and that right outside linebacker, those are going to be our fastest players. Everybody else in the secondary has problems. This is really the reason that we've been losing. I say that because I've had comments from people as I've been playing here, especially on free videos, where they say, oh, you're not any good at this game. Somebody was saying, oh, I've beaten Tecmo Super Bowl using the Colts and the Patriots. Now, I don't know about the Colts. I've beaten the original game using the Patriots, right? So I can tell you that that's probably not necessarily a sign of being great at this game. Trying to beat it with a team like this when the other team has running advantages and all this other stuff is a much different task, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Wide open. Touchdown. See? We called for a pass on that play, by the way. We just picked the wrong one. This is one of the problems that we have, and you'll notice this as the game goes on. When we call for passing plays, the computer is always able to cover receivers, whereas we have never been able to cover receivers fully on passing plays that they call. In fact, what I've learned as I've been playing around with this is that really the best thing for me to do instead of trying to play back and prevent that from happening is to just blitz. Because usually if I blitz, I can figure out a way to, you know, get to the quarterback before something like that happens. But as you can see, you know, Deadman is actually a pretty good runner. Shoot, I shouldn't have done this. So what we can do here is we can change the playbook, by the way. Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. That way, because Schultz is not going to be able to run. Why don't we have Brown in? I don't know, because I forgot to change him. So let's make that change. Whoops. Let's make that change right now. And hey, we might as well call a pass with him. Why not? Yeah, that's my fault. I was under a lot of heavy pressure. I wanted to dump it off to Deadman, but yeah, see, there was too much pressure that time. But we managed to complete the pass. How about that? As you can see there, though, like as soon as we complete a pass, we have like this absolute, you know, barrage of defenders who are coming after us, and that's pretty much the way that it's been the entire time I've been playing. And the reason why I say that is because unlike the original Tecmo Super Bowl, in this version the defenders have like super speed. And that does include our defensive players as well, except that our players are not as capable of actually like catching up with other running backs and making tackles, which is something that I am certain you will see. This time we get someone wide open. There we go. So that'll make it 7-7, hopefully, assuming that we make the extra point. So hey, maybe there is something to Drew Brown, because Schultz, at least in our last game, Schultz was Schultz was doing a great job throwing the ball out of bounds when we had situations like that. Now, why go for an onside kickoff? Because we can't really stop anybody on defense, so we might as well try. All right, I'm gonna do this here and see if we can go the wrong way and give up a bunch of yards, but at least they didn't get a touchdown out of that. We're going to play the line here a little bit and see if we can figure out a way to stop them. And the nice thing about playing the CFL version Canadian football is that there are only 3 downs. So if you stop them on second down like we just did, then you get the ball back. This is going to be a touchback, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if it is. Yep, touchback. The hard thing about it, though, is that when you have the ball, you have to figure out how to make something happen like really quickly. And you also have to hope that they don't guess right. If they guess right, then you're kind of a dead duck. Jump. Wanted you to jump, man. In theory, somebody should be open when they blitz like that. In reality, I haven't, at least not with this team, I haven't experienced that. And see, you see what happened there? So there's no way that I could have done anything about that play. You know, because we guessed past and they ran, our secondary is not capable of actually keeping up with them. So the way that you try to, you know, take care of that is you choose a guy further back in the defense and hope that nobody blocks you in the amount of time that it takes them to get open like that. That's basically what the last 8 games have been like. It's been a lot of that over and over and over again. So I would consider this to be one of the ultimate Tecmo Super Bowl challenges because of just how overwhelmed and overpowered this team is. Now, the Redblacks did win, what, like 4 games in real life, so hopefully we can win something at some point in time. But yeah, we're on pace to have a record-setting bad season. As long as we can get those blocks when we run, though, then we can do okay. Totally broken play because somebody of the line wasn't blocking. So, I don't know. You can go back and look at the video and see if you can figure out what happened. Pimpleton was wide open and we made the pass. So, how about that? Khalil Pimpleton. We should probably pass it to him more often. Let's see if we can actually hit an extra point. Anyway, it's been a real interesting adventure playing through this, especially when I decide not to. That was good. Especially when I decide not to try for field goals and go for the touchdown instead. We've had a number of times where we've had the ball on the like on whatever, like the 1 or 2 yard line or something like that, and we haven't been able to punch it in. Computer will always go for the points. And I know it's kind of like, you know, a moral victory for us to only give up 3 points here, but we'll take any kind of victory that we can get. Hyrulia, I guess is how you say his name, the kicker. I probably should have kept going up. Oh. Running in this game, just running in Tecmo Super Bowl in general, is really a lot of fun. It's got this real sort of like arcade type feel to it. You feel like you're, you know, trying to avoid like, I don't know, like enemy fighter jets or something like that. Now, that was a pretty satisfying run. That's probably one of my favorite runs so far. It didn't work. Alright, we're going to call a pass, and it's going to be pretty risky. Well, I probably should have actually passed the ball. At least we got a first down out of it. Oh boy, I'm happy that we didn't go out of bounds. So we finally have a lead. How about that? Devontae Deadman. That's a name that's going to live in my memory forever. Devontae Deadman. This has been the Devontae Deadman show this whole season. Alright, I'm going to try for a deep kick, hopefully. Let's see if we can actually stop him this time. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? We might as well go for an onside kick if we're going to give up that many yards. Ah, shoot. Get him! Get him! So Toronto's got a pretty good line. I can't seem to break through. So much for trying, you know, the, what is it, like the nose tackle lurch or whatever they call it. You're not going to be able to do that here in this game. Well, we had the lead for a little while, so that's another moral victory for us. That's better than we've been doing in our recent games. We've had a bunch of games where we've lost by double digits. No, that didn't do very much, did it? Alright, one of the rules is we don't punt. I mean, we could punt, but I don't want to punt. This is also one of the reasons why we've been losing by so much. Something going on with the controller. Alright, we'll have this guy instead. Oh, that was a mistake, and the guy who blocked me ends up receiving the pass. So, if you're new to watching this, one of the things you have to know is that in this version you only have a single timeout per half. That was a really good catch. I thought for a second we were going to intercept that. Anyway, so the computer will always use its timeout with like a minute or so left. Oh yeah, Deadman's been having great returns this game. Who is that? How do we have a player that far downfield blocking? Yep, no good. All right, well, down 31 to 20. That's not bad. We've scored 20 points. That's pretty good for us. About 200 yards total offense for us, so that's not bad. Yep, so we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can come back here and at least make it interesting. Alright, come on, Deadman. Boy, we're just not getting any blocks anywhere, man. Wow. Oh, crap. That's the problem with Deadman. His weakness is that he fumbles, and if you fumble here, the game will really, really punish you. I had him too. At least we stopped him. That's better than it's been. Usually, if they get any sort of daylight, then they're gone. Something weird going on with this controller here. Hey, all right. So we forced them to take a field goal. That's not bad. We're only down by 14. All right, here we go again. Starting to get pretty good at returning kickoffs, since we returned so many freaking kickoffs every single game. The other thing I'm good at is finding those holes. There's another busted play. I don't know if I trust any of the guys we have on the line. I haven't, like, you know, broken into this game to see what the linemen look like and stuff, but I'm guessing that they're not pretty good. Wide open again. Man, Pimpleton's been wide open all game. Nice, all right. That wasn't much. At least we got a yard out of it. Crap. Yeah, that's another example of that. We get close. We probably should have taken the points, but I get greedy. And plus, you know, it's more fun. It's more fun if you're going for it on fourth down or third down than if you're not. I mean, you want to go for it. Nobody wants to watch a team that just punts all the time. Try to keep the score close. This is tons of fun. Good. Okay, good. Force another punt. So we've been doing okay. You know, this isn't like totally awful. It's not like we've been playing these games and we've been losing every game and not scoring any points or not gaining any yards and stuff. Most of the games we've played, I think we've actually outgained the other team. The problem that we're having is that we get close and then we figure out a way to blow it. Yeah, that's an example right there of just how fast the defenders are. Usually in the base Tecmo Super Bowl game, like if you try doing something like that, they'll never catch up with you because you run diagonally and, you know, you can run basically all over the field. In this game, they will catch up with you. Guaranteed. And so you gotta fight for 10 yards like that. Oh, crap. Ah. My mistake. This is the funny thing. Everybody's been telling me, oh, you know, when you're passing, what you should do is you should wait till the last second to pass. That's not easy to do when you've got this offensive line. Oh, nice. But see, that's the reason why you want to do that. If you wait at the right time, you can get one of these catches where the guy's in heavy traffic, but you make the catch anyway. Thank you for just standing there watching me. All right, we should, I think, be able to punch it in here. Yeah, we got it. All right, the comeback is on. Down by 7, assuming we actually make the extra point this time. And I do think that it's time... Oh, man. Oh, man. It is time for an onside kick. This was not a good one. Yeah, we're not going to recover that. But there's really not much of a downside of doing that when the defense is this bad. See, there you go. There's your lurch. Let's see if we can lurch a little bit more. There we go. See, this is a great time. This is a great time to start playing well. This actually might be returnable. Let's see. I think this will be. And Deadman just doesn't have any acceleration when it comes to those returns. See, he's the guy who's the default returner, and when I started playing this, at first, I wanted to like get rid of him because I didn't think he was any good. Because I couldn't gain any yards and any kick returns. Again, it's a lot different from the base game. It might not look like it, but you know, in the base game, there are a lot of things you can successfully do that you just cannot do here. It's designed to be frustrating and to be difficult. All right. I have enough time to you keep leaving him wide open. Oh man. He was wide open too. Get him, get him. Look at this, look at this. There's absolutely nobody there. There's nobody on the top side of the screen for us. Right? Everybody commits like right away to the fake, and then there's nobody there to actually play defense. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I want to call a play that's not in the playbook. Oh, nice. That's one of those really weird cutscenes where you're like, why did they put that cutscene in? Anyway, whatever. Like, as if you didn't know that the pass that was going out of bounds to nobody is not good. Alright, we still have it. We can still get something going here. We just need a good return that doesn't take up too much time. By the way, you'll notice that there's no touchbacks on kickoffs in this version for whatever reason. I think it's got to do with the length of the field. That's what they should do in the NFL, right? They should make it so that the field's 110 yards long. It used to be. Not in the NFL, but college football in the United States used to be 110. Back in the good old days. Back in the violent days, actually. That's back when football was a real man sport and people would die. I probably should do a video on that, actually. What an awful pass, man. I guess he had a guy in his face, but... Barely got that one off in time. How did he make that catch? That's incredible. Wow. Okay, note to self, don't call that play again. What a ridiculously bad pass. Oh, man. All right, we're actually going to do it. It would have been really funny if we'd missed that. Let me know if you have any on-site kickoff tips in the comments that could help us. Well, I guess there's one right there. Do whatever I just did. All right, this is our Jim McMahon moment. Oh, well. Well, we came close. This is actually probably the best game that we played. We had 400-something yards of total offense. We definitely had more offense than they did. I think we're going to stick with Brown, who had 50% completion rate, which is incredible for us. We had 15 first downs. And the only problem is that we're having a hard time sort of punching it in there at the end. So, you know, as bad as it's been here since we haven't won a single game, it's not really that bad. We play Winnipeg next, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not going to be too difficult, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, this hasn't really been that bad. You know, that was, I thought, another good game. And I swear, at least when I watch myself playing, I think that, you know, we're doing okay. The frustrating part is that we can't seem to win any games at all. So anyway, let me know what you would do down in the comments, and I'll try to do it next time. Talk to you later. Bye.